Hello and welcome to another A Star to G briefing. How do you know when a learner is ready to take an exam? That was a question overheard this week between two music teachers, and I think the scenario was that there was a learner who was studying for a flute exam and the teachers didn't know if they should enter her or not because she might fail. Now, I've posted before on some of the philosophy around the word fail, so do look back on the archive for that. But this post is more about that question really. And the glib answer is of course that enter the child and find out when you get the results. But the glib reply to that though is, well, hang on, these exams cost 40 quid a throw and you can't waste money like that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just think about qualifications and preparation for qualifications. What's good practice and what strategies should we use? Now, qualifications of course have many purposes. The main quals in our system, GCSE and A levels, are used for a couple of things. One of their uses is to benchmark some learning at a particular level in a subject. You could say this learner has reached the standard in this subject. And others would understand what that means and what it covers. For example, employers, further and higher education, other schools, parents, politicians and so on. It's a standardised measure which has a value in society. The other use of these qualifications is to rank the learners and put them in a particular order. You get an entire national cohort and order those successes so that the higher achieving learners can be recognised and suitable opportunities arranged for them. For example, further study or apprenticeships or universities and so on. Now these two uses of qualifications sometimes don't fit together. And sometimes we miss the point of what the qualification is, and at a more fundamental level I think we miss what a qualification has a particular use, where a qualification has a particular job, but sometimes the qualifications don't have those particular things that you might need. It all gets a little bit strange sometimes. Now our old friend, the driving test, always come back to it, it doesn't rank order good or bad drivers, and insurance companies would love that information to help differentiate the good and the bad drivers and help them price their insurance. That's one of the reasons why we came up with things like the no claims bonus. It's a different type of exam, if you like. It builds on a pass fail. The learners of the people who are using the no claims bonus have passed, but the no claims bonus is like a second qualification which shows that you are a better, safer, less crash prone driver and you can be rewarded with some cheaper insurance. If you graded the driving test, for example, you could have quite an impact on the insurance business, couldn't you? Some qualifications though can be used in a lot more diagnostic way. Particularly progressive mastery qualifications, those based on national occupational standards or coaching schemes or progression ladders. These have the level of achievement worked out in steps, and you can use each step to benchmark progression and motivate the learner to continually improve and develop. What's great about these quals is that they are not high stakes. They are a framework for formative work and not purely summative. Of course, each step could be levelled and graded depending on the subject matter and can be used in a summative way. But the steps are fairly close so that satisfying that assessment for learning approach and making the next step is achievable. So how do you know when a learner is ready? Well, put them in, and if they pass, they were ready, and you can celebrate with some great progress with a certificate and with a renewed target. And if they fail, you can congratulate them on the bits of the qualification that they did okay in, and you can use the information to plan the future with a more clarity and more focus. Making sure the learner understands if the qualification is formative or summative is key. Sometimes you might want to use the words diagnostic or final. If you don't know if the learner is ready for a final, put them in for a diagnostic. Always go for the exam, if you like, don't avoid them. And it's about making sure the learner understands that failure isn't absolutely dreadful things, it's a learning experience. If the learner goes in with a diagnostic approach, it will turn out to be a good learning experience and they might pass. If they go in with a final summative approach, they'll still get that good learning experience, and they might fail. But it's too expensive. Indeed, awarding bodies risk pricing their qualifications out of the diagnostic market and into a purely high-stakes summative one. And some competition is needed, I think, to maintain prices at a reasonable level. £40 a throw? That's far too much. I think that's a grade 4, grade 3, grade 5 kind of flute associated board price. It's too much. It is too much. So set up a local agreement with other schools, colleges, authorities and so on, and run a local diagnostic system at £5 a pop. Certificated, moderated, standardised, and you're on to a winner, I think. And why not in other subjects, not just music and playing the flute? Why isn't there a graded mental arithmetic qualification, for example? Grade 5 mental arithmetic, grade 6 mental arithmetic, really stuff that makes people learn and makes people think. Or foreign languages, or reading, or computer programming, or electronics, or local history. Come on, I think there's a million opportunities here for a really great diagnostic system of exams, and to think about a really good way of using qualifications and local frameworks to progress learning. Anyway, let us know in the comments below what you think, and please do subscribe. And we'll see you on the next A Star to G briefing very soon.